Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest pursuit of life isn't found in the glitter of wealth or the applause of the crowd. It isn't tucked away in a bank account or a vault filled with treasures. No, the greatest pursuit is far beyond that. It's a pursuit that fills the soul with peace, lights the path with purpose, and anchors your heart in something eternal. That pursuit is chasing God. Money is a tool, not your identity. It is a resource meant to serve a purpose, not define who you are. Too often, people allow their financial status to dictate their self-worth, believing that the size of their bank account reflects their value as a person. This is a dangerous misconception. Your worth is not determined by material possessions or the digits in your savings. True purpose, fulfillment, and identity come from a higher source, from chasing God and aligning yourself with His divine plan. When money becomes the focus, life starts to revolve around acquisition, accumulation, and comparison. You begin to measure yourself against others based on what you have rather than who you are. But the truth is, no amount of money can buy integrity, kindness, or character. It can't make you more compassionate, loving, or selfless. These qualities come from within, and they are cultivated through a relationship with God. Money is temporary. It can vanish as quickly as it comes, leaving you empty if it's the foundation of your identity. God, however, is eternal, unchanging, and the ultimate source of purpose. When you chase Him, you root yourself in something that cannot be shaken. He gives you a sense of direction that no amount of wealth can provide. He reminds you that your life is not about building a fortune, but about building a legacy of love, faith, and service. Money, when used correctly, is a powerful tool. It can feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, and bring hope to the hopeless. But its value is found in what it does, not in what it represents about you. When you see money as a means to an end rather than an end in itself, you begin to understand its proper place in life. You stop chasing it for the sake of ego and start using it to make a difference. When your identity is tied to God, your priorities change. You no longer feel the pressure to prove yourself through material success because you know your value is already secure. You become free to live a life that reflects His love, grace, and purpose. This doesn't mean rejecting money. It means refusing to let it define you. It means seeking first the kingdom of God and trusting that everything else will fall into place. Chasing God allows you to focus on what truly matters. It aligns your heart with His will, guiding you toward a life of meaning, service, and eternal significance. Money is a tool, yes, but it is God who provides the blueprint for how to use it wisely and faithfully. True peace and joy are gifts that come from God, not from the accumulation of material wealth. In a world that constantly pushes the narrative that happiness is tied to possessions, status, or financial success, it is easy to lose sight of the truth. Material wealth can provide temporary comfort or fleeting moments of excitement, but it cannot fulfill the deepest desires of the heart. That fulfillment comes from a connection with God, who is the source of all true contentment and everlasting joy. Think about the countless stories of individuals who seemingly have it all: money, fame, and luxury, yet openly admit to feeling empty inside. They've climbed to the top of the mountain that society calls success, only to realize that it offers no lasting satisfaction. The reason is simple: material wealth was never designed to fulfill the human soul. It can entertain, distract, and even provide comfort, but it cannot give peace or joy that transcends circumstances. Only God can do that. Peace is not the absence of challenges or problems. It is the presence of God within you. It's a calm assurance that no matter what life throws your way, you are held by a loving Creator who is in control. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are not alone and that your worth is not tied to what you own. Joy, on the other hand, is not the same as happiness, which is often dependent on external factors. Joy is deeper, a state of being rooted in God's love and promises, independent of life's ups and downs. When you chase material wealth, you're constantly in a cycle of what's next. You achieve one goal, but the satisfaction fades quickly, and you're left longing for the next big thing. It's a never-ending race that leaves you exhausted and unfulfilled. But when you chase God, you find peace and joy that endure through every season of life. You realize that your value is not determined by what you have, but by who you are in Him. True peace and joy are priceless. They cannot be purchased or manufactured. They are gifts from God. When you prioritize your relationship with Him over the pursuit of material things, you open your heart to receive these gifts fully. You begin to live a life that is rich not in possessions, but in purpose, love, and spiritual abundance. That is where true fulfillment lies, not in the treasures of the world, but in the eternal treasures of God. Success isn't about possessions, it's about fulfilling God's plan for your life. The world often equates success with having the biggest house, the flashiest car, or the largest bank account. But when you measure success by material possessions, you're only scratching the surface of what life is truly about. God's plan for your life goes far beyond the accumulation of things. It's about living a life of purpose, impact, and eternal significance. Most possessions are temporary. They can be here today and gone tomorrow, as fleeting as a passing wind. But God's plan for your life is eternal, rooted in His divine wisdom and love. It is a plan tailored specifically for you, one that takes into account your unique gifts, talents, and purpose. When you focus on possessions, you risk losing sight of this greater purpose. You start chasing after what the world values instead of aligning yourself with the values that truly matter. Fulfilling God's plan brings a sense of success that no material achievement can match. It's not about how much you have, but about how much you give. It's about the lives you touch, the kindness you show, and the love you spread. When you pursue God's plan, you're walking in alignment with His will, and that brings a deeper sense of fulfillment than any amount of money or possessions ever could. Success in God's eyes is about obedience, faithfulness, and stewardship, using the resources He has given you to serve others and glorify Him. Chasing possessions leads to a life of comparison and competition. There's always someone with more, and the pursuit of more becomes an endless cycle that leaves you feeling empty. But chasing God's plan leads to peace and joy. You understand that your life has a purpose beyond what you own. You recognize that success is not about standing at the top of a mountain of material wealth, but about standing in God's grace, knowing you're living out the calling He has placed on your life. When you focus on fulfilling God's plan, you discover a life of significance. It's a life that impacts others, brings glory to Him, and leaves a legacy that outlasts any possession. True success is not measured by what you acquire, but by how faithfully you follow the path God has set before you. It's about living a life that reflects His love and purpose, a life that matters not just in the here and now, but for eternity. That is the kind of success worth pursuing. Trusting God opens doors that no amount of money can. While wealth may offer opportunities in the material sense, access to education, travel, or business ventures, it has its limits. Money cannot buy wisdom, favor, or divine timing. It cannot grant you peace in the face of adversity, nor can it ensure the fulfillment of your purpose. Trusting God, on the other hand, aligns you with possibilities beyond human understanding. It places you under the care of a Creator who has a plan far greater than anything money can achieve. When you put your trust in money, you are placing your hope in something fleeting and unreliable. Financial markets crash, economies falter, and wealth can vanish in an instant. But when you trust in God, you place your hope in the one who is eternal, unchanging, and all-knowing. He sees the path ahead and orchestrates events in ways that no amount of planning or resources can replicate. His favor can take you places money never could, opening doors you didn't even know existed. There are moments in life where all the money in the world can't solve a problem, moments of illness, heartbreak, or loss. In those times, it's your faith in God that sustains you. It's His strength that carries you and His provision that makes a way where there seems to be none. Trusting Him means surrendering control and acknowledging that His ways are higher than yours. It's about believing that even when you don't see the full picture, He is working things together for your good. God's blessings often come in forms that money cannot buy: relationships, opportunities, peace, and purpose. When you trust Him, you open yourself to these blessings. He can place you in rooms where your name has been spoken in favor before you even arrive. He can align circumstances in ways that no amount of money could orchestrate. Trusting Him allows you to walk through doors that only He can open, doors that lead to a life of greater impact and meaning. Money might give you access to certain things, but trusting God gives you access to His limitless power and grace. It allows you to live with confidence, knowing that He is your provider, protector, and guide. When you place your trust in Him, you step into a life where possibilities are not defined by your bank account, but by His divine plan. Trusting God is the key to unlocking a future that is rich in purpose, love, and eternal significance far beyond what money could ever offer. Living for God inspires others and leaves a legacy of love and faith. When you dedicate your life to God's purpose, your actions become a reflection of His love, grace, and compassion. People are drawn to a life that radiates peace, integrity, and joy, qualities that stand out in a world often consumed by selfishness and materialism. By living for God, you not only enrich your own life, but also impact the lives of those around you in profound and meaningful ways. Your life becomes a testimony to the power of faith and the transformation it brings. When others see you walking in love, staying grounded in challenges, and putting God at the center of your decisions, they are inspired to seek that same peace and strength in their own lives. You become a living example of what it means to trust in something greater than yourself. This inspiration is not about preaching with words, but showing with actions through kindness, generosity, and unwavering faith. Leaving a legacy of love and faith means prioritizing what truly matters. It's not about accumulating accolades, titles, or wealth. It's about the impact you leave behind. How do you make people feel? Do you lift them up, encourage them, and show them what love looks like in action? A life lived for God naturally points others to Him, not by force, but by the quiet, consistent example of a heart aligned with His will. Living for God doesn't just affect the present, it shapes the future. The seeds of love, kindness, and faith you plant in others can grow and bear fruit long after you're gone. Whether it's the children you raise, the friends you uplift, or the strangers you help, your legacy becomes a ripple effect that touches lives you may never even meet. God uses your faithfulness to create a lasting impact, one that extends far beyond your time on earth. The legacy of living for God is eternal. While material achievements fade and are often forgotten, the love and faith you pour into others leave a mark that endures. It's a legacy that reflects God's love and brings glory to Him, inspiring generations to follow in your footsteps. Living for God ensures that your life is not just about what you accomplish, but about who you become and how you lead others closer to Him. It's a legacy of purpose, impact, and eternal significance that will echo through time. The greatest wealth is found in a life centered on God, not fleeting riches. While the world may tell you that wealth is measured in dollars, possessions, or status, the truth is that the most valuable riches are those that cannot be bought. A life centered on God brings peace, purpose, and fulfillment that no amount of material wealth can provide. It shifts your focus from temporary gains to eternal treasures, offering a sense of contentment that the pursuit of fleeting riches can never achieve. Material wealth has its limits. It can buy comfort, convenience, and even moments of pleasure, but it cannot buy love, inner peace, or the assurance of a meaningful life. Money is a tool, but it was never meant to define your identity or determine your worth. A life centered on God, however, brings an abundance that transcends circumstances. It's a wealth of joy that isn't shaken by life's storms, a richness of spirit that grows stronger through challenges, and a depth of love that connects you to something greater than yourself. When your life revolves around chasing fleeting riches, you often find yourself in a cycle of striving and dissatisfaction. The more you accumulate, the more you feel the need for more. But when your life is centered on God, you realize that you already have everything you truly need. He provides a sense of security that money cannot match, a purpose that gives meaning to your efforts, and a hope that sustains you through all seasons. His blessings are not just material, they are spiritual, emotional, and relational, creating a wealth that endures. God's abundance is not confined to what the world sees as success. It's in the small, meaningful moments, relationships strengthened by love, challenges met with faith, and opportunities to serve others. These are the treasures that no amount of money can buy and no thief can steal. When you live a life centered on God, you are rich in ways that truly matter. You carry a sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing you are walking in alignment with His will and living out His purpose for your life. The fleeting riches of the world are just that, fleeting. They come and go, often leaving behind emptiness and a yearning for something more. But the wealth found in a life centered on God is eternal. It brings a joy that remains unshaken by life's circumstances and a peace that surpasses all understanding. This is the greatest wealth you can ever possess, a life rooted in God's love, purpose, and promise. It's a treasure that grows with time and leaves a legacy that lasts far beyond your earthly years. Chasing God, not money, is the path to a life of true fulfillment, purpose, and eternal significance. While the world entices us to seek wealth, possessions, and status, these are fleeting and unable to satisfy the deeper longings of our hearts. God offers us something far greater, a life rooted in love, faith, and the assurance that we are walking in alignment with His divine plan. When we trust God, we unlock doors that money cannot open, experience peace that surpasses understanding, and inspire others through a life lived with integrity and purpose. The legacy we leave is not measured by the wealth we accumulate, but by the love we give, the lives we touch, and the faith we nurture in others. True success is not about material possessions, but about fulfilling God's unique calling for our lives and reflecting His glory through our actions. The greatest riches are not found in bank accounts or material assets, but in a life centered on God, a life marked by joy, contentment, and eternal hope. By prioritizing our relationship with Him, we align ourselves with treasures that neither time nor circumstance can take away. When we chase God instead of money, we step into a life of abundance that echoes through eternity, leaving a mark of faith, love, and purpose for generations to come. Let us fix our hearts on God, trust in His promises, and embrace the wealth of living a life dedicated to Him. That is where true riches lie.